interesting to do just a short video on the MPG of my Volkswagen T5 2015 camper conversion. I've just filled up with fuel with 77 litres, and I'm going to reset the trip computer and run the tank all the way down and then fill again, so I can use the amount of fuel I fill up with next time and calculate accurately how much fuel the van's actually used. It'll be interesting to see what the comparison will be. Hopefully it's quite accurate, because it tells me I'll get between 42 and 47 mpg on a long run on a motorway, but maybe I suspect that's a little bit ambitious, so we will see. So here we go, let's reset the trip computer and see how we go. Two-thirds of the tank of fuel. The travel time on the trip is 10 hours and 5 minutes. The range is still 245 miles to go. I've done 423 miles already. So I've used 10 gallons of fuel according to the trip computer. The average speed has been 42 miles per hour. A lot of motorway driving. The average consumption so far is 44.5, which I find a bit incredible, to be honest. So we'll wait and see when we fill up to see how accurate that is. I think it's a little bit on the high side. So the results are in. The trip computer shows there is a range left of 45 miles. It's used 14 gallons of fuel. The distance travelled is 608.1 miles, with an average speed of 42 miles per hour. Total travel time was 14 hours and 31 minutes, with a recorded fuel consumption of 45.2 mpg. Here it is on a spreadsheet, and notice that I've added the US and metric conversions where required. These results are very interesting, as it shows the van to be very fuel efficient. It has recorded an average of 45.2 miles per gallon, while the official fuel figures that I could find for this van should range from 33.2 to 40 miles per gallon, depending on the type of driving that you do. So does that mean that I'm a superhero when it comes to top driving efficiency? Well, that's not the real story. To demonstrate for anyone that does not know how to work out their real-time MPG, this should help explain. You simply take the fuel that you've used and divide it into the miles travelled. So here, if you had used 50 litres, you divide that by 4.546 to get 11 UK gallons. You then divide 500 miles travelled by 11 gallons. In this example, this would be 45.5 miles per gallon. This in essence is what your trip computer does automatically. So when I compare the fuel used as recorded by the trip computer to the fuel I added at the pump, there is a significant discrepancy of approximately 17%. But to give this some balance, the trip computer displays the whole number and not to a decimal point. So that could explain some of this discrepancy. The most interesting and accurate result is when I compare the average MPG figures recorded to the actual. When I applied the calculation to work out the actual MPG, it was 36.2. This is a huge difference to that of the trip computer, and the discrepancy was 19.9%. So for the conclusion, can you trust your trip computer? In my opinion, this should be a guide only. This result was not a surprise to me, but confirmed what I had thought. Maybe you'll come to your own conclusion with this Volkswagen trip computer and the fuel figures it recorded.